Hey Dad,
Okay, Kathy.
last week we were talking about the standalone non-mall stores that Sound of Music had at the beginning-ish in Vancouver. Why don't you tell us about the first mall location and then take us forward to the last mall location in 3 minutes?
In 3 minutes, all right. So our first mall location was in Guildford Town Centre. And what they did is we were in the North Mall next door to Eaton's, and there was a hallway that came off of the parking lot on the lower area and led to an escalator, and they literally closed that in for our store. So it was a fairly large store.
It would be a
It
large
was
store.
running probably pretty close to 2,000 square feet in a shopping center, maybe 2,500 square feet, which is quite a bit of square footage in a shopping center mall. And we set up with the books and so on, and that would have been about 1970. Let me see, yeah. That would have been, I just left that North Van store, that's where we popped that one into, so 18, so it was 19, yeah, 73, 74 is when that would have closed off. And that started our mall operations. And so from there, we were in that location, signed 2 leases, at least maybe even 3, so anywhere between 10 and 15 years. Then we moved and set up the next mall we set up was 40 years ago, roughly. We went into Seven Oaks Shopping Center. And that would have been 1975, and there was already a little boutique hairstylist that went in there that could make it work. And so we were across the hall from the Hole in One donut shop, right? It was a much smaller shopping center, but it was still Grosvenor property, right? And as a matter of fact, Seven Oaks got its name because if you go from Guildford in Surrey, England, you go out the same distance, you end up in a little village called Seven Oaks, and that's how Seven Oaks here in Abbotsford got its name. It's not really 7 oak trees, right? Anyway, so we were in that shopping center until 1998 we bought this building, so 96 we left that shopping center. So for about 20 years, right, we were had an operation in Seven Oaks Shopping Center. Then from there, right, we put another store together in Richmond Square on number 3 Road. And that one operated in one location just down the hall from Sears, and we were there for about 7 years before we sold it to Jerry Lipsky and they changed the name to Noteworthy Music, and then it was eventually bought by Bill Brooks, right? And he eventually took it out of the shopping center onto number 3 Road on the corner, and he sold that company to Long McQuaid here a few years back and retired out of it. The other shopping center location we had was in Willowbrook Shopping Center. We opened up in there when they did the expansion on the North Mall. That would have been probably about 2000, you should have been around then, right, in that one. Techniques was just coming to an end. Probably about 1997, 98, right, in that area is when we went into there.
We already had this building when we were in Willowbrook?
No, I'm sorry, it'd be 87.
There we go.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
just
that makes more sense.
There you go. Take 10 years off, right? Well, you said do it quickly, right? So, and the years go by quickly.
Yeah.
After 50 years doing this.
I do remember the store in Willowbrook. I think you were there until I was about 9 or 10.
Yeah, and that was an okay store. We were across from the Bootlegger there, but dividing the shopping center up into those long corridors like that, not having a directional situation for people to actually walk through, isn't very good for our particular business, because you actually need the people walking through it. Right. Good save on that guitar there, Kathy. Works out well. It's all good. Anyway, right, so that pretty much ended our shopping centers, other than I used to go out and promote in the different shopping centers, and we did that all over the valley, from the Sunshine Coast, from Gibson's and all the way down through Victoria, over here into North Vancouver, into Burnaby, down throughout all the valley.
All the way to Chilliwack.
All the way to Chilliwack, yeah. And we did mall shows all over the place and those kinds of things. I was downtown with Mom not that long ago. We were walking through the Bentall Center, and I wandered by the old place where I'd set up for a week, even in the bottom of the Bentall Center years ago.
All right. Well, next week I think I'm going to ask you about those mall shows more, and we'll catch up then.
All right, take care.